Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all will be good and fine. Today I am going to discuss English MCQs of the course code BEBAE181. Before proceeding to the MCQs, I want to say that I am not quite much knowledgeable of English. I am just a learner like you. So if there will be any mistake in my speaking skills, then please try to pardon me. Now simply just let's proceed to the topic. The first question of our topic is the acid rains are produced by. The options given here are excess NO2 and SO2 from burning fossil fuel. Option number B, excess production of NH3 by industry and coal gases. Excess release of carbon monoxide by incomplete combustion. And the last option is excess formation of CO2 by combustion and animal respiration. Actually, the correct answer of this question is option number A. Actually, acid rains are produced by the excess NO2 and SO2 from burning fossil fuel. Okay, now let's just think about a topic, and that is acid rain. Okay, actually acid rain is a rain or any other form of precipitation that is usually acidic. Simply I can say acid rain is a mixture of H2SO4 and HNO3 with rainwater. Due to excess burning of fossil fuel, SO2 and NO2 are produced and get react with atmospheric humidity. This can be expressed by the following reaction. Just see these two reactions. SO2 when get mixed up with the atmospheric humidity, it forms H2SO4, and when NO2 get mixed up with H2O, it forms HNO3. Okay, now these two powerful gases H2SO4 and HNO3 are responsible for the production of acid rain. I hope you understand this reaction. Okay, and at last remember that friends, acid rain is regarded as global issue. It has very bad effect on plants and crops. It has also a very bad effect on human health. Acid rain damages the human lungs and respiratory system. I hope you understood this question. Okay, now let's proceed to the second question. And the second question of our topic is which one is not a pollutant normally? And the options given here are hydrocarbon, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and sulfur dioxide. Actually, the correct answer for this question is option number B. Okay, friends, carbon dioxide is not a pollutant normally because CO2 is normally a greenhouse gas that helps in maintenance of the temperature of the earth's surface, and it is also used as an ingredient of photosynthesis by the plant. So carbon dioxide is not a pollutant normally. I hope you understood this question. Now let's proceed to the third question of our topic. And the third question is upper part of sea aquatic ecosystem contains. And the options are plankton, nekton, sea, plankton and nekton. I am just scrolling down to see the next option for this question. And the last option of this question is option number D, and that is benthos. Actually, the correct answer of this question is option number A, plankton. Upper part of sea aquatic ecosystem contains plankton. Okay, friends, sea or aquatic system is divided into 5 parts, and that is neuston, periphyton, plankton, nekton and benthos. Now let's proceed to neuston. Neuston are unattached organisms which lives at the air-water interface. Okay. Now let's just discuss periphyton. These are the organisms which remains attached or clinging to stems and leaves of rooted plants or substance emerging over the bottom mud. Okay. And the third part of the ecosystem contains plankton, and plankton are organisms that live in large bodies of water and unable to swim against a current, actually unable to swim against the flow current of river, sea, etc. Okay, planktons are just floating in the direction of water current. And the fourth part of the aquatic ecosystem contains nekton, and nekton group contains animals which are swimmer, examples fish. Okay, and now it's time for the last part of the sea or aquatic ecosystem, and that is benthos. Actually, benthos are living on the bottom or benthic region of the water mass, example crabs, lobster, etc. I hope you understood this question. Now just proceed to our fourth question, and the fourth question of our topic is, what is true of ecosystem? Okay friends, now I am going to scroll down the PDF to see the options for this question. And the options are: primary consumers are least dependent upon producers. Option number B is primary consumers outnumber producers. Option number C, producers are more than primary consumers. And the last option of this question is secondary consumers are the largest and most powerful. Okay, the correct answer of this question is producers are more than primary consumers. It means the correct answer is option number C. Now let us just discuss about a topic, and that is ecosystem. The action and interaction of the physical and living components of an organism make a system of relationship called ecosystem. Okay friends, actually ecosystem is divided into three main parts, and that is producers, also known as autotrophs, consumers, also known as heterotrophs, and the last is decomposers, also known as septotrophs and reducers. Okay, now I am going to describe producers, and which is also known as autotrophs. Organisms that are able to manufacture their own food are called producers or autotrophs. Okay friends, and the second part of the ecosystem is known as consumer, and it is also known as heterotrophs. Actually, organisms that are unable to prepare their own food but depend on other is known as consumers or heterotrophs. And consumers are divided into three subparts, and that is primary consumers, secondary consumer, and tertiary consumers. Actually, organisms that eat plants are known as primary consumers. Examples are cow, deer, goat. While organisms which eats herbivorous or primary consumers are known as secondary consumers. Examples are birds, ants, and grasshopper. And the last subpart of the consumer is tertiary consumer, and organisms which eats secondary consumers, example lion, are known as tertiary consumers. Okay friends, now the last part of the ecosystem is decomposers or saprotrophs or reducers. Organisms which are responsible for the decomposition of a dead decaying matter is known as decomposers or saprotrophs. And the example of decomposers are fungi and bacteria, etc. I hope you understood this question. Now let's just discuss the another question of our topic. I am just scrolling down the PDF to see the next question. The question is, greenhouse effect is warming due to. The options of this question are infrared rays reaching earth, moisture layer in atmosphere, increase in temperature due to increase in carbon dioxide concentration of the atmosphere, and the last option is ozone layer of atmosphere. I just want to say that greenhouse effect is warming due to increase in temperature due to increase in carbon dioxide concentration of the atmosphere. It means the correct answer of this question is option number C. Okay, now let us just discuss about a topic, and that is greenhouse effect. The warming of Earth's atmosphere due to the buildup of heat-trapping gases such as CO2 and methane is known as greenhouse effect. And due to this greenhouse effect, the mean global temperature rise by 2 to 600 degrees centigrade, and the concentration of carbon dioxide increases in the troposphere up to 600 ppm. Hence, the surface of the earth become warm, which causes global warming. Just I can say warming. Okay, I hope you understood this question. Now let's proceed to the another question of our topic. Okay, and the question is soil conservation is, and the options given here are conservation of sterile soil into fertile soil, and B number option is aeration of soil. I am just going to scroll down the PDF to see the another options of this question, and option number C of this question is erosion of soil, and the last option of this question is protection against loss. Okay, actually soil conservation is protection against loss. It means the correct answer of this question is option number D. Friends, soil conservation is to conserve fertile soil from the losses like heavy rainfall, drainage, high wind, flood, drought, etc. As you know, soil is the top cover of the earth in which plants can grow. The rotation of crops, counterploughing, and use of the proper fertilizers help in maintaining the fertility of soil. Plantation of trees, controlled grazing of grassland, reforestation, prevention of forest fire will protect the erosion of topsoil. The regulation of water resources to prevent flood will help not only in the soil conservation but also supply and adequate water supply in the period of drought. I hope you understood this question. Friends, let's see the another question, and that is gas released during Bhopal gas tragedy was. The options for this question are methyl isocyanate, potassium isothiocyanate, sodium isothiocyanate, and the last option is ethyl isothiocyanate. Actually, gas released during Bhopal gas tragedy was methyl isocyanate. I want to say that the correct answer of this question is option number A. Okay, in Bhopal, the killer gas methyl isocyanate MIC was leaked into air from a chemical plant, killing more than 2000 people. Many of the people are still suffering from various diseases and defects of the eyes. Okay, I hope you understood this question. Now let's see the another question, and that is deforestation will decrease, and the options are soil erosion, soil fertility, landslide. Now just I am going to scroll down the PDF to see the another option of this question. The another options are landslide and rainfall. Friend, deforestation will decrease the rainfall. It means the correct answer will be option number D. Now let's discuss about deforestation. Deforestation is the conversion of forested areas to non-forest land use such as arable land, pasture, urban use, locked area, or vaster lands. Generally, the removal or destruction of significant areas of forest cover has resulted in a degraded environment with reduced biodiversity. Actually, deforestation results from removal of trees without sufficient reforestation and result in declines in habitat and biodiversity, wood for fuel and industrial use, and quality of life. Due to deforestation, transpiration will be decreased and air temperature will be increased and water content will be decreased, hence rainfall decreases. I hope you understood this question. Now I am going to scroll down the PDF to see the another questions, and the another question is domestic waste constitutes, and the options are non-biodegradable pollution, biodegradable pollution, effluents, and the last option is air pollution. Friends, domestic waste constitutes biodegradable pollution. Now I am going to explain the answer of this question. Domestic waste constitutes biodegradable pollution. These are also known conservative pollutants. These are decomposed chemically or by activity of microorganisms into harmless products and are recycled back into the atmosphere. I hope you understood this question, and now let's proceed to the last question of our topic. And the question is, acid rain is due to increase in atmospheric concentration of. The options are ozone and dust, CO2 and CO, SO2 and CO. I am going to scroll down the PDF to see the last option of this question, and the last option is SO2 and NO2. Friends, acid rain is due to increase in atmospheric concentration of SO2 and NO2. Friends, the correct answer of this question is option number D. Okay friends, actually this question is discussed before, so there is no need to discuss this question again here. For full discussion of this question, please go back and see the first question discussed in the video. Here I am going to describe this question so briefly. SO2 and NO2, when present in large quantities dissolved in water vapor, form sulfuric acid and nitric acid, which dissolve in rainwater, resulting in acid rain, which in turn causes great damage to forest and vegetation. I hope you guys like this video, and if there will be any mistake in this video, please try to pardon me. One more thing and last thing friends, if you see any deficiency in me, then please mention that deficiency in the comment section. That's it for now. Goodbye.